Yeah, it's a two-horse race now, isn't it, for the Premier League title? And you can hear Arsenal against Bournemouth live on talkSPORT this weekend, 12:30 kick-off for that one. This is The Social here on talkSPORT 2 with me, Ollie Clink, alongside the former Spurs and Liverpool centre-back, Stephen Caulker. Stephen, the title race. Just before we get into it, you've just said to me that you've jinxed pretty much every single team in this. So basically, whatever Stephen says,
it's the opposite.
The opposite's going to happen. But I mean, what's happened with that? You said it about Liverpool were going to win it, and
every single time I've been called on telly and gone, right, who do you think? Who do you think? And I've gone, yeah, I think Arsenal. Then they sort of went like that, and I was like, no, Man City. Then lastly, I said Liverpool. And I apologise to any Liverpool fan listening because since I said it...
Not over yet.
No, I've said it 3-4 weeks ago and wow, it was literally before they played Atlanta. And I said, yeah, the Liverpool momentum and oh my God, yeah, I've jinxed it.
Do you know what? I'm laughing. I said exactly the same thing on this show.
You did, yeah. Thank you.
So don't worry about it. I want to talk about Arsenal though, because I've been really impressed with the way they've responded since that loss to Villa, and you know they were knocked out the Champions League as well. But the way they've responded since has been absolutely fantastic. They thrashed Chelsea. They won that difficult game, North London derby. You know they were coasting by half time, weren't they? Really, but there was a fight back as well, and they managed to get through that. And you're seeing, for me, a different character about this Arsenal side this season. Their issue though is Manchester City. But how do you see this playing out?
Oh, well, I never want to rule out Man City. I am going to go with Man City, so it might be music to Arsenal fans' ears because, as I said, I've jinxed the last couple I've said. But, I mean, Man City, they've got 4 games to go. I fancy them beating Wolves at home. I fancy them beating Fulham away. It's that Spurs one. That's the one for me that I see. Spurs seem to be Pep's bogey team. I think
they really have struggled against Tottenham over the years.
They have. But let's not forget, right? Arsenal still will go away to United. So
that's very true.
So are Arsenal going to win the next 3?
Also, sorry, everyone's assuming, by the way, that Arsenal are going to go and roll over Bournemouth. Now, sorry, but only the current top 4 have better form than Bournemouth at the moment, or more wins since, I think, the 1st of November. Bournemouth are a good team. They're a very good team. Don't think that is going to be the easy ride that it's going to be. They're definitely going to win 4-0.
That's why I'm smiling at you just saying it.
But for me, and actually, to be fair, I think this is where this is a different Arsenal side from last season. I think that Arsenal last season would have gone to Manchester United and won, but their issue would have been the game against Bournemouth. You know, we saw it, they drew against Southampton, didn't they? They lost to Brighton, and that's where they kind of came apart. But I think Arsenal this season is a very different kettle of fish.
I'd say there's a real maturity to Arsenal, and that's a lot of credit has to go to Mikel Arteta. You know what he's done there, what he's built there, but also the board. I would mention them because they've stuck with him. You know, there was a period of time where even Arsenal fans are calling for his head. You know, he's getting questioned everywhere. They stuck with him, and that goes to show. And I think that's a message to a lot of clubs out there as well, to actually have a bit more trust in the managers out there. He's really created something special there. Emirates is like I've never seen it.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen Emirates the way it is right now. Every fan wants to be there. It's a packed house. They're all believing in the team. Odegaard's he's just wandering around the pit. He's just unbelievable.
He's incredible.
What a player. What a player to watch. Do you know what I mean? He plays with such like charisma. He's something else. And then you've got, for me, the best centre-back partnership in the league. So that they're solid defensively. You've got then Kai Havertz chipping in with goals. He's not an out-and-out number 9, but for me, Arsenal offer a bit of everything. But City have got the experience and I want to say professionalism. You know, just to get results week in, week out.
I feel like another Arsenal player we should mention, by the way, is Thomas Partey, because he's come in and it seems at quite a crucial time. He's been superb, and also I think as well he's allowed Declan Rice to move a bit further forward, which has really benefited Arsenal as well. Where do you see that kind of situation going forward? Should he stay at the club? Is he part of that best midfield? Is he someone they should cling on to? Yeah,
I think he's certainly part of the best midfield they've got there, and I think Arteta putting him in now goes to show that. You know, he's come back from he's struggled a bit this season with injuries and stuff, but when he has been fit, he's been back in and he's played and he's done well, and I think he complements Rice really well. One other player I didn't mention there, who I'm a huge fan of right now, is Ben White. You know, someone who's got so much stick lately. It might not be the most popular player outside of Arsenal, but what a player. Like, literally, what a player. Like, he got brought in as a centre-half, plays at right-back, and he's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has been absolutely superb. And, it does make me a bit sad as an England fan, to be honest, that he's not going to be involved this summer. You would imagine, obviously, given that he wasn't in that last squad. What do you make of that situation, by the way? The fact that he's kind of shutting the door in England at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a strange one, if I'm honest with you. It's obviously a decision that he's made with, the people around him, people closest to him. It's a decision that he feels is right for him. And I support him. I support him, and I support any player that makes a decision like that, because it's not easy. He knew when he made that decision he was going to get a lot of backlash, which he has done. As I said, for me, it comes across strange, because I guess I'm on the outside of it, just thinking, why would he not want to be involved? But clearly something happened within there, and he feels that he's better off away from it. So what I do really admire and respect is someone who's got the courage to actually say it and do what's right for them, because I think that's something that was not spoken about enough. Players don't often do what's right for them. He has done that, and I fully respect him.
Yeah, it's just with each of those brilliant performances he puts in, you just think, God, it'd be great to have you. Great to have you. But as you say, he's made his decision, and he's gonna stick by it. If we just stick on Arsenal as well for the time being, Gabriel Jesus, interesting one. He's not had stick, I would say, recently, but a couple of reports this week, maybe even linking him with a move away. You mentioned the great form of Kai Havertz as well. He's been superb, really, hasn't he, in this kind of false nine role. He started to score goals as well. And Gabi Jesus, who was so important to Arsenal last season, not quite showing that same form, is he, that he was last season. What do you make of those reports of him potentially moving away from the club, though?
I could see that. I could see him moving away. For me, he's too good of a player to be on the bench. He doesn't quite seem to fit the system. I think Arsenal played different with him on the pitch. Kai Havertz plays that almost false nine role, and Arsenal seem to be a lot more free-flowing with Kai Havertz instead of Jesus. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move away from the club. But there's no doubt in his ability. He's a top player, and what I really like about him, he's always got a smile on his face, and not a false smile, because I've been on the bench and I recognise a false smile when I see one. When your teammate scores, you're thinking, I wish it was me. But he generally has that I don't know, just that personality where he wants to be there, and he's a real good team player. Yeah,
it's funny with Arsenal as well, isn't it? Because if they come second again this season, there will be the cynical fans saying, well, it's no improvement on last season, you haven't won a trophy again. But for me, I look at this season as a step forward again for Arsenal. I think they've pushed it even further in the title race as well. Sometimes you're pretty much coming up against perfection, aren't you, with Manchester City? Exactly. So how would you kind of assess this Arsenal season, even if they were to finish second? I'll
still say it's been a brilliant season, and they've made clear progress in terms of their performance. The set piece coach we mentioned, they've added to the team. I said they've got the solid partnership at the back. You've got Ben White on fire, Odegaard just running games. I'd say there's a lot of progression from Arsenal. I think if they don't win it this year,
where might they need to invest? Do you think next season? All the talks obviously about getting that lethal number 9 in, etc. Where for you do you think they could also improve on the pitch?
That would have been the first thing I said as a number 9.
Who though?
Who? I don't know. You've got Zemaine. You got him. I would like to see him. If he's going to be leaving Napoli, then he'd be a good one. I don't know. It depends on what
we can whisper it. Isak.
Oh, you wouldn't want that, surely.
No. You just deny it all. Say it'd be rubbish. Go on.
He's another one. He's a top player, a really, really good player. So someone like him, of course, would be a great addition for Arsenal.
The thing is, I just think that it's going to be very difficult for any club to try and afford Isak this summer. He would demand such a high price. Do you think it would be worth paying though? Because I just think, I'm talking here probably about. I genuinely think he could be valued at about 120 million.
120 million.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, he's scored 20 goals in the Premier League for a Newcastle side who for large chunks of that season weren't performing. He's had a couple of injuries, and maybe his injury record doesn't help. But that guy is a lethal finisher, and also, for me, can do the build-up work that Gabriel Jesus can do. So if that was the price set on him, do you think that's something Arsenal should pay, because it could be the signing that wins them the Premier League?
There's no denying that he's a top player, but inflation must be crazy. I mean, I played with Gareth Bale that year where he was absolutely phenomenal for Tottenham and moved to Madrid for less than that, a lot less than that. So to put Isaac in that category, I don't know. So inflation must be there. But I mean, look, I don't know. Arteta, for me, wants to sign players that are going to play his way. And I also mean personality-wise that are going to fit into the Arsenal model. He doesn't seem to like characters. I think Isaac is someone who, from what I see, is someone that's very easygoing, would fit Arteta's model. So
he also can play on the left as well, and that's another thing Arteta likes, a bit of versatility. He likes signing players that can do a couple of jobs as well. I mean, obviously the other name that's been linked a lot with Arsenal is Ivan Toney, but given that record of not liking characters in the squad, can you see that happening, or do you think that one's not going to happen now?
I would be surprised to see that happen. I don't think he's an Arsenal player. He doesn't fit that. But you know what I mean? There's no doubt he's another top player, but and he believes in himself, that's for sure. I'm just not sure that he fits the Arsenal mould. So it'd be an interesting one to see what Arteta does this summer. I think next year, if they don't win the title this year, I think next year will be a crucial one because he's going to get judged. There's no more getting away. We've already had a lot of progression, but we're second and we've got no trophies. I think next year will be the year for him where he's truly judged on what he's done. So
next season, even if they finish within a point of this kind of elite Manchester City side who were going for a double treble this season, even if Arsenal next season finish a point behind them, you're saying that Arteta will begin to be judged, essentially. That's assuming they haven't gone further in cup competition as well and they focused on the league.
Yeah, and I'd say rightly so. He's had a long time there. He's spent money. He's had the backing from the board. I think this year, and the previous years, you could see clear progression. I think next year will be the year where he's really judged.
No judgment this season, then. Only good judgment.
Only good judgment from where he sits currently. I would say only good judgment. He's got Arsenal consistently performing well back-to-back seasons. They're so close. Yeah. If there's a slip from Man City,
Man City have got Wolves at home, Fulham away, Tottenham away, West Ham at home. Are they going to lose any of the? Are they going to win every single one of those games?
It's the only one for me that I've put a star next to is Spurs away. Now Wolves beat them early on in the season, by the way. But I'm backing Man City at the Etihad to go and thump Wolves.
Are you backing Man City to beat Tottenham?
I am.
You are? Yeah.
I am.
Well, as we said earlier, the opposite will happen.
The opposite will happen.
Because you jinx every
Arsenal
team,
fans will be celebrating right now.
Arsenal fans, you should be pumping your fists right now, hearing that.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.